if you're starting a podcast and you're trying to determine how to host it or where to host it, this video is for you. I've done tons of research and I determined that the best place right now to host your podcast is on Buzzsprout. And to give you some history, I used to be on a platform called Libsyn, which stands for Liberated Syndication. It's kind of the industry standard, or was for a long time, for hosting podcasts. But honestly, I think the new podcast hosting services, or at least the ones, they're not necessarily new, they're just getting bigger. I think they've left Libsyn behind because Buzzsprout really is an incredible platform to host your podcast. And so I want to walk you through setting up my Buzzsprout account, and we're going to go through this together, and I'm doing this right here in front of you the whole way so that you can see what it looks like to set up a Buzzsprout account, get your podcast set up. Just to let you know, I reached out to support with Buzzsprout before deciding to go with them because I had a question I wanted to ask, but I also wanted to see how quickly they respond to support emails, whether they would take a question from someone who's not a customer, how they would treat me. And it was incredible. They replied to me very quickly. They answered my question. They let me know some options. This is for my other brand, Preaching Donkey. So I'm starting a new podcast there, or revamping an old one, but it's going to be brand new. So let's jump into Buzzsprout and we will get to work on making this happen. And you can just watch and see if maybe this is something for you. And if you decide to go with Buzzsprout, I've got a link below in the description. If you click on that link, you'll get a $20 Amazon gift card, but it's no additional cost to you. And Buzzsprout is free. You can have a totally free plan. So if you start on the free plan, obviously I don't get a commission, but if you bump up to one of their paid plans, then I'll get a commission down the line. But either way, when you get a paid plan, you'll get a $20 Amazon gift card for clicking on my link. So be sure to do that. And let's jump in. All right, so I'm going to click on Get Started. I'm going to put in some personal information here. So I am going to see you once I hit Create My Podcast. All that I've done at this point is I put in my name, my email, and I gave them a password. That's it. So your podcast is almost ready. Which best describes you? I'm a new podcaster. I'll just say it that way. Podcast title is going to be the Preaching Donkey Podcast. Podcast description, I'm going to pull that over from YouTube. Okay, so to get my description, I just went over to my YouTube channel just to keep everything on brand. And I'm grabbing this, and let's take it and stick it into Buzzsprout and play around with it. So I've put in my title and I've put in my podcast description. It says done. Let's start podcasting. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you first get in there. Once you're set up, you can put your episodes in here. Let's look at what the options are. So the first option that I have is the free option, 2 hours each month. I am going to need more than that because I'm going to do 4 episodes a month and sometimes 5, 1 episode a week. I'm probably going to end up on that $12 a month mark, if not the 18. So you can see there, 3 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours. And then you get statistics, you get the podcast website, you get custom embed, you get get into all the podcast directories, and 250 gigs of bandwidth. Let's go ahead and just go through each one of these. Add an audio player to your website. Upload your first episode. So this is cool. I really like this because they give you the option of these players. It's just the HTML code that you can stick on a page in your website. One of the things with my first podcast that was very cumbersome was trying to figure out, like, with every single episode, doing show notes and a page on my site and all this stuff. Like, you can make this as complicated as you want it, but because this is going to be on YouTube and it's going to be an audio podcast, I want to make it as streamlined as I possibly can. So the thought of being able to stick a player on a page in my site just seems incredible to me. You just copy the embed code and it's great. The other thing is, man, compared to Libsyn, this thing is clean and it's simple. Libsyn was a complicated freaking mess to mess with. I could not stand dealing with Libsyn. So this is a vast improvement over that. So website. So you can actually make a website. So I currently have one. Let's see what it looks like. The Preaching Donkey Podcast. Ooh. Okay. I don't know why I did that. Ooh. But it looks like they stick their own ads on there, so that's the trade-off. I don't think I'm gonna use this website because I have a website. I'll probably just embed their player and I'll go from there. But I will probably give a little bit of information on this and put the player on it, and just in case somebody lands on it. But that's pretty cool that you have a website, and you can actually change the URL to be your a custom URL. So you can either do it at Buzzsprout, so I could put in preachingdonkeypodcast.buzzsprout.com, or you can use your own domain and it will redirect. So that's pretty cool. And then you can hide it from search engines if you want. Okay, now directories. This is where Buzzsprout comes in handy, and I'm very excited about this. So once I upload an episode, I will be able to go to each one of these and get listed. And they go ahead and put the top ones, the top 3 at the very top. 95% of podcast downloads are between Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. But then from there are these other directories that they recommend. And I'm going to list on every single one of them just because why not? You do it one time and then you're in. And so when you click on these, they give you the exact way to do it, and you can just, with a click of a button, they will actually submit your podcast to these directories, which is cool. I have an RSS feed, which is cool. It's through Buzzsprout there, which is kind of neat. Let's talk about monetization. So here's what's cool. They actually have a way to help you find sponsors. Part of this is they have their sponsorship thing. They also have the affiliate marketplace, where no matter how large your audience is, you can go in and you can get affiliate deals. And then you can even show the support link in your episode, which is really cool. I got to tell you, at first glance, I love this a lot. I really, really do. I think this is super nice. Here in podcast settings, there's of course my title and description. I can do artwork. I'm still working on that. And I can select the category. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. This is going to be in religion and spirituality, and it's going to be Christianity. And then I can do optional categories, how to. And then I'm going to say business, nonprofit. Language is English, time zone is Eastern, artist is Lane Sebring. It does not contain explicit material, so I'm going to save that. And then let's look at the stats. So I have had 0 downloads in the last 30 days. But I just started the podcast, so don't judge. But it looks like these stats are going to be really cool, and they tell you where the stats come from on each thing. I am very excited about this. You can look at episode downloads. Okay, that's the stats. So there's the overview of the stats, episode downloads, apps and devices. Okay, so this will tell you who's watching on what apps, and then where they're watching from, which is pretty cool, and then your achievements. Let's go to resources. So they do a lot to help you kind of make sure that you're doing well with your podcast. I actually took a free course that Buzzsprout provides on how to start a podcast. I mean, they've just been incredibly, incredibly helpful. Then there's the help tab, which you can send a quick email. And like I said, they'll get back with you very quickly. I'm excited about this. I'm going to keep letting you know about this journey. If you have questions about Buzzsprout and want to know more about how it works and how this is going for me, leave me a comment below. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next video.